Hello, everyone. So I have seen Borat Subsequent Moviefilm, and just wow, there is a lot in this movie that I can't stop thinking about. One sequence in particular that legitimately kept me up last night, but let's get a brief story overview first here. This movie takes place 14 years after the release of the first Borat movie. That movie was such a huge success, and it also turned Kazakhstan into a laughingstock, with Borat being blamed for ruining the country. Ultimately, though, he does get a second chance. Borat needs to go back to the US and deliver a present to Mike Pence in an effort to earn Trump's respect and change things for Kazakhstan. I'll leave the synopsis there for the most part, but it is probably no surprise that things go awry with that plan. But also you should know that Borat winds up with a stowaway tagging along this time around. It's his daughter, played by Maria Bakalova. Before we even get into the themes that Sacha Baron Cohen is exploring and the upsetting truths about society that he's exposing here, I was just really impressed by how they put this whole thing together again. The way these films are shot just seems like an immense risk and challenge to me, and not only did they manage to capture enough to deliver a coherent story that visually does feel natural and surprisingly unlimited, but then he also manages to gain access to events and people that I really just can't get over, to be frank. Also, he's got a pretty solid story here, serving as the framework for all of these stunts, and it's the evolving relationship between Borat and his daughter. And you're gonna wanna watch out for Bakalova after this movie comes out, because I have a feeling the film is going to be huge for a whole number of reasons, but stunts or not, watching her hold her own opposite Baron Cohen is extremely impressive, to the point that it feels like this one movie here could put her on the fast track to following in Baron Cohen's footsteps and really building a successful career in this industry, if that's what she even wants. But also, her involvement winds up being part of the answer to the question of how can Baron Cohen still do all of this when Borat is so well known at this point? For that reason, Borat having a partner this time around is just an absolute must, but Bakalova also makes it so much more than just her being there to pull off more of these pranks without anyone figuring out who they are. But now to the whole point of Borat Subsequent Moviefilm and why we're getting it right now, because what better time to expose certain scary truths about our country than right before a presidential election? This movie will likely, actually undoubtedly, make some out there very uncomfortable and probably very angry too. This is a hugely political film coming from the mind of someone who has very strong feelings about our current administration, and he's using his art and his skills to address all of that. The movie almost feels like a last-ditch effort to inspire change by going incredibly hard and taking major risks and trying to reveal certain truths from the inside, and perhaps seeing such behavior playing out in such a natural setting, not performed in a more traditional film shoot, could actually encourage more change, or at the very least some self-reflection. While the movie is largely digging at one end of the political spectrum, I did find that two especially strong components in the movie were slightly different. One encouraging you to consider why someone might think differently than you on certain matters, and then there are two specific individuals highlighted in the movie who are just plain old kind people that go out of their way to try to put Borat and his daughter on a better path, and just the purity of their drive in those moments really moved me. Now though, I do not want to spoil anything for you here, and I really would highly advise you to catch this movie sooner rather than later, because with this one, I think those spoilers are going to be close to impossible to avoid once the movie is released. But I do need to point out how just wild the movie's third act set pieces. That's the thing I can't stop thinking about, and I kind of don't understand how exposure on that level wouldn't come with some very serious repercussions. All right, Dewey Decimal Movie Scale time. I am going to give Borat Subsequent Moviefilm 4 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimal Movie Scale. This movie is designed to get a rise out of viewers, and I do think it can accomplish that no matter who you are or where you stand, for better or worse. Similar to the first movie, there are loads of moments that had me laughing out loud while also making me queasy at the same time, and they involve blunt truths that I think do need to be addressed. This movie is gonna make waves. Maybe it won't be for you, but this is Sacha Baron Cohen right here, using his art and his comedic sensibilities to spark change with some pretty extreme tactics in the mix. And I'm just mighty impressed that his team pulled it off as well as they did while stitching those stunts together with a pretty coherent narrative. So there you guys go. Those right there are my thoughts on Borat Subsequent Moviefilm. If and when you check it out, do hit that comment section below. I would love to know what you think about this one as well. I'm going to shield my computer from Dewey right now. Big thanks to everybody out there for watching this movie review. Please like and share it before you leave, and stay tuned because I've got more coming your way real soon.